What is up, lads? It's Chris Modern9 here. Alright, so a rather high scoring game at the Madejski this afternoon. Chelsea 4, Reading 3. So the win was in our favour, which is good. I mean, pre-season, nobody even cares too much about pre-season. The only thing we do care about pre-season is match fitness, player fitness, and season preparation and all the rest of it, which is all important at the end of the day. So results don't really matter too much, but, you know, 4-3 win is pretty good. However, let's just talk about the goals, first and foremost. Some pretty good goals. We went 1-0 down because Caballero got lobbed, which was, I got to be honest, it was a pretty damn good lob for Reading to go 1-0 up. And then we turned the result around in our favour with a couple of goals from Ross Barkley. What a free kick. Absolutely great performance from him. And then Kennedy getting on the score sheet for the very first time in like a while. Mr. Kennedy! Yeah, I actually tweeted a GIF with Mr. Kennedy on it. Yeah, never mind. It's the first time I've done it in ages. But anyway, 2-1 going into half-time. And then Reading equalised from some absolute zonal marking defensive errors. So that was 2-2. And then Mason Mount got a couple of goals to his name. Mason Mount, absolutely great performance from him. Again, very much on creativity this pre-season. Lampard's pretty much learned. But yeah, 2 goals. One of them got served on a plate to him when the goalkeeper made an absolute howler, passing it straight to Batshuayi to assist Mount to put it in the back of the net. And then I think we did another defensive error and allowed Reading to score a third goal. So, I mean, all in all, I think all goals were pretty good in our favour. So, let's just talk about the actual game. Let's just talk about some players that performed today. Now, usually when I do player ratings, I tend to do the more positive players first. But what I am going to do is talk about the players that didn't do so much and why I think these players shouldn't really be getting opportunities as much as some of the other players that have performed pretty well today. Now, I'm going to earmark 3 players. 3 players that I didn't think stepped up their game enough, and I think these players are running out of time to impress Lampard, and I don't think they're going to be playing very many games, and I'm willing to bet that they're probably going to be going out on loan again, or better yet, get sold, because I don't think they're Chelsea standards. Now, these 3 players are Zabacosta, Bakayoko, and Drinkwater. And it's funny, because these 3 players are some of the exact same players that have been playing in previous pre-season games. It's not like they've been put straight in and you know, just did some bits and pieces. They've actually been part of our pre-season this time around. And, well, they're not doing enough. Now, let's just talk about Bakayoko, because Bakayoko is a very, very obvious case. Bakayoko, I'm going to say it straight up, is not Chelsea standard. I'm sorry, he's not Chelsea standard. He needs to either get sold or he needs to go out on loan again. I'm losing my patience with him, to be honest with you. Bakayoko just looked very, very, just mentally drained. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, he went out on loan at AC Milan last season. And, well, he started off really, really slow there. But then as he gradually got into the season, he got better. He got moulded into this good setup at AC Milan. Now, for him to take this experience back to a club where some fans don't regard him so much as Chelsea standards is very hard. Now, I don't know if that's to do with mental issues or whatnot, but as a Chelsea player, if you're playing for Chelsea, a big club like this, you really need to step up your game. It doesn't really matter what your mental issues are. You need to solve them and you need to get fit. You need to do what you need to do to get into that team. You need to compete. And Bakayoko is not this. And I guess you can say the exact same with someone like Drinkwater as well. Drinkwater didn't play enough last season under Maurizio Sarri. And this was his opportunity to really impress Lampard, to really get some of that fitness back. These players are just not good enough. I think there were times in the first half especially, I think particularly the first goal that Reading scored to put them 1-0 ahead. As a central midfielder, you need to sort of press onto these guys that are running forward with the ball. And Bakayoko just did not do this. And he didn't do this throughout the entirety of the first half. And it frustrated me. Bakayoko and Drinkwater, pretty much the exact same case. It's just that they're not doing enough. And I don't think they deserve to be within a hair's width of the starting 11 going into this season, especially the first game against Man United. There are better players that should be playing in that game against United, and Bakayoko and Drinkwater are nowhere near that standard. Now let's talk about Zappacosta, because Zappacosta was a pet peeve in that first half. First and foremost, his track backing is terrible. Again, it goes back to what I was saying about the first goal Reading scored. His backtracking is awful, and there's another thing that he's poor at as well is his crossing. What Zappacosta tends to do when he has the ball in the right hand side, when he's running with the ball, his running with the ball is great. That's something I'm not taking away from him. His crossing is poor. Like, why is he trying to run with the ball, going to the byline, and then trying to low cross it? Just to absolutely nobody. It's easy pickings for the Reading defender to just take it and just run with it away from the penalty box. Just consistently did that all of first half. We can already talk about somebody that would be 10 times better than Zappacosta in that right back position, and he hasn't even started in pre-season because of injury, and that's Reece James. Reece James, he hasn't even done anything in pre-season, and I can already see him just slotting in that right back position. Look, even Azpilicueta did better right back than Zappacosta is. Zappacosta is just like, even when he signed for Chelsea back when he first, I think it was deadline day 2 seasons ago when he first came. I thought that it wasn't a good signing for us, and I've like, every single time as Zappacosta's played, yes, he has done some bits, but he hasn't excelled as a player, and I'm not really a big fan of him. So yeah, Zappacosta, Drinkwater, and Bakayoko just not good enough, and they should not even be within a hair's width of that starting 11 against Man United. Now, let's talk about players that do deserve to be in that starting 11 against Man United. There are 2 players that I feel really, really need to be leading the charge when it comes to attack. Ross Barkley and Mason Mount. These players should be competing for positions in the midfield with players like Jorginho, players like N'Golo Kante, and players like Mateo Kovacic. These 5 players need to be competing for that rotational midfield spot, because all 3 of them are just playing exceptional, especially when Kante comes back from injury and he can be put within that group of players and just compete. Mason Mount, all he had to do was play that second half. He was bloody everywhere. Like, just name one thing, one job in that team that Mason Mount didn't do in that second half. Just fantastic. Mason Mount is ready to be implemented in that game against Man United. He should be starting in that game against Man United. 2 goals. He scored 2 goals in that second half. One technically was just served on a plate to him, but still, 2 goals. I'm happy with that. Creativity as well was excellent. Ball distribution was excellent. Running with the ball was excellent. Passing the ball out wide, long balls was great. Finding a player in space and giving the ball to him, it was just quick plays. This is the kind of creativity that we need going forward. The same can be said for Ross Barkley. Ross Barkley, as I said earlier, great free kick. Just exceptional free kick. Frank Lampard has pretty much taken Ross Barkley under his wing and said a few things to him during pre-season, I would have thought. He has said something to Ross Barkley, telling him, look, you are wearing the number 8. You have to play like a number 8. You have to play around players. You've got to play. It's very much similar to what I said about Gesture, about his Orisa, and this will not apply to Chelsea fans at the moment. This is going off at a tangent here, but this is very similar to what I said about Gesture and his Orisa play, and his main tank play, and playing off others. You know, playing with Birdring and Profit with their DPS play. The same can be said about Ross Barkley today. Ross Barkley has the ability to work off players, distribute the ball, and make some real creative passes, as I say, and score those free kicks. I looked at his free kick that he scored today. It was a carbon copy of something that Lampard would have scored in his day. Just perfected that placement. It was just absolutely fantastic. And I tell you what, if he scores more free kicks outside the box, if he plants long shots outside the box, he is going to be an absolute great midfielder. Something that he tried to do last season under Maurizio Sarri and failed. But then Lampard's taken that and thought, you know what, this guy's got some good creativity in him. I'm going to use him. I'm going to use him to place him in that centre and then just start creating. Mason Mount and Ross Barkley, they are going to be key players. I want to see Ross Barkley. I want to see Mason Mount play. Especially Mason Mount. Mason Mount is ready. Mason Mount is absolutely ready. I do not want to see him have any roadblocks put in front of him. He needs to be starting alongside. He needs to be moulded in that team, especially when we talk about young stars mixed in with some experience. Put him along with the likes of Barkley, Kovacic, Jorginho, and I can't remember the other guy, Kante. Did I say Kante? Yes, I said Kante and Jorginho, Kovacic. Just put him in amongst those guys, and he'll do a great job. I swear to it, he will do a great job. Going forward now, Giroud. Giroud had a chance in the first half that I honestly believe he should have taken. He should have scored from. When Ross Barkley fed in that free kick, he got in behind the Reading back four, got into a good position, and he should have finished it with that header, and he didn't. I don't know how he didn't finish that. Quite questionable when you think Giroud has got the experience to find positions in the box to get on the end of a free kick to head the ball in. Needs to do better. Batshuayi in the second half was really good, actually. I thought he created really good stuff. He got the ball, ran with the ball quite well, distributed the ball greatly, especially with the striker as far as the striker's concerned. Linked up pretty well with Mason Mount, I've got to be honest with you. Creativity was good. Emerson at left back was put in place of Alonso, who played in the first half. He played in the second half. I thought, again, Emerson played 10 times better than Alonso did. That's just my opinion. Maybe Alonso did some good things in that first half, but I thought Emerson just had more pace, crossed better, I think. Tracking back was a little bit off. And I'll talk about defending in a minute, because defending is questionable, especially in the second half. Something that Lampard needs to go away and rectify. In fact, actually, let's just talk about defending, because defending, not great. Not great, and it shows due to the amount of goals we conceded in that second half. Let's just talk about positives, though. Fikayo Tomori and Andreas Christensen, I thought were very solid. Especially in the first half. I thought Tomori had that comfort of when he knows that there's something that's going to happen. If somebody's got the ball, if a Reading player's got the ball and he's running with it, like Tomori knows exactly when to try and challenge for the ball and try and get the ball off of him. I thought he did okay with that. There were times where, there was nothing that he could have done to prevent a goal from happening. But Tomori was very calm. He was very comfortable. He knew exactly where to take the ball off the defender. He was very, very, very solid. The same can be said for Andreas Christensen. I thought he was very, very good in that first half. Same as Tomori. Good understanding of the situation at hand. He's thinking outside the box, forward thinking, it was good from him. Now then, second half defending was atrocious. We had David Luiz and I think the other guy was, correct me if I'm right, I can't remember. I think we had Jason Cumming come on. I think Cumming came on as a goalkeeper, but David Luiz was on, and I honestly can't remember the other guy. I feel bad because this is something that I should know, but our defending was absolutely terrible. I thought our zonal marking was absolutely poor for Reading's second goal. Like, the corner came in, and it's very, very similar to certain situations that we've had last season. I can pinpoint a few things that happened in certain games, but zonal marking was completely off. Way too much space for the attack to just do what they need to do, just pass the ball, and, well, they just walked the ball in the net for the second goal. The third goal, we were just split open from a through pass that was put in by one of their attacking midfielders, and all he had to do was just slot the ball past our defence and then just slot in the bottom corner. There's two things that Lampard needs to go away and work on. The first, obviously, is zonal marking. The second of all is space prevention. Space prevention is quite key, because if you were to go into that game against Man United in the opening game of the season and you were doing the same defensive mistakes, you will get punished. Absolutely punished. No question. When you look at certain players that are on the pitch for Man United, you know, if Romelu Lukaku starts for Man United, there's been talk of him going elsewhere. I mean, whoever is up front for Man United, they are going to exploit those big mistakes, defensive mistakes that we made against Reading, and they're going to get some goals at Old Trafford. It's no doubt about that. I think Lampard has to go away and fix the problems that we've got at defence, because defending is poor, especially in the second half. There are players that performed well in terms of defending in the first half, a la Fikayo Tomori, a la Christensen. But yeah, defending needs to be worked on. Defending absolutely needs to be worked on. I mean, overall, it was a good win. Like, pre-season doesn't really matter too much. It's all about fitness. It's all about understanding what team you need to start out at the beginning of the season. But, you know, a 4-3 win is a 4-3 win. Reading fans should be pretty pleased about their run out. Us Chelsea fans, looking like we're proud of our run out. Other players that need to be talked about. Pulisic. Let's talk about Pulisic. He didn't do too much to write home about. I mean, it's like he's literally started playing for Chelsea. I mean, he needs a bit more time. There were times that he got the ball and he sort of like linked up play with certain other players. But this is a sort of player that needs a bit more time on the pitch, I think. If you give him a few games, I think he'll sort of gradually get the gist of the Premier League. I mean, this is a player that I don't really like. If you're putting in a mediocre performance, it's not too questionable at this time. I think he needs to be given a little bit more time. Having said that, though, I thought there were good times. I thought there were times where he did distribute the ball really, really well. So Pulisic was 50-50. Other players I thought did okay. Caballero, well, he was all right. Didn't really have much to do. Azpilicueta, just Azpilicueta, I think. Although, having said that, I think Azpilicueta is wasted at right back. This is my opinion. I think Azpilicueta is wasted at right back. I think he needs to be played more as a centre back. The only reason I say that Azpilicueta needs to be played more as a centre back is because, because I want to see Reece James hold down that right back position, because I think he needs to play there, because I think he's got the build to be able to track back and to be able to create chances and create crosses 10 times better than what Zappacosta did today, in my opinion. So if you was to ask me who should play against Man United in the opening game, definitely Mason Mount, definitely Ross Barkley, definitely Kante. But then, what about Loftus-Cheek? What about him? What about him? Like, there's a lot of competition for our centre midfield pairing. Players like Drinkwater, players like Bakayoko just need to be sold. Anyway, guys, so that was your video for today. Reading Chelsea, good win. I really enjoyed it. Highly enjoyed the win. Leave your comments down below about the game. Who do you think should be starting against Man United? Who do you think should be getting the can? Who do you think should be going out on loan or getting sold? And all the rest of it. I'll see if I can read all of your comments. So, yeah. Next video that I do is going to be on London Spitfire, because they're taking on Toronto Defiant in Stage 4 of the Overwatch League. This will be the second game. So, yes, if you're even into Overwatch League at all, you might want to tune in for that video. But in the meantime, I'm going to see if I can try and get this video edited and uploaded as soon as I can. And, yes, in the meantime, thank you very much for watching this video. And until the next one, I shall see you later. Hedor and peace.